Hello everyone! Today it was announced that patch 5.2 will be released in 2 weeks, so I thought it'd be a good idea to take a look at some of the patch notes. Now keep in mind, these are just the global patch notes. For the complete information, please check the description where I've posted a couple of links for you. In 5.2 we will be joining either the Kirintor offensive or the Sunreaver onslaught in the assault on the Isle of the Thunder King. The Island of the Thunder King will slowly open up the same way as Isle of Quail the Nas did. For those who weren't around at that time, it means that we're going to do daily quests in a server-wide effort to unlock certain parts of the island. The daily quests are not linked to any Valor Gear, but you can buy some gear with gold and of course you can buy some mounts. The main reason for doing these dailies will be unlocking the island. When doing the dailies you can choose between doing PvE or PvP dailies. Players on a PvE server that choose to do PvP dailies will be automatically flagged for PvP. Like I said, the new Valor Point gear will not be unlocked by doing daily quests, instead you will have to earn reputation from raid boss kills. This reputation can even be earned on looking for raid, but only once a week, regardless of the raid difficulty. Once the island is fully unlocked, one of the 2 new world bosses will appear. He's called Nalak the Stormlord and he is part of the Wrathion questline. The other world boss is called Undasta and he will be located on the Island of Giants, a small tropical isle to the north of Kunlai's summit. Nalak, his difficulty in spawning will be much like the Shah we have today, while Undasta is rumored to be very difficult to kill. We won't get any 5-man dungeons, but we will get a brand new raid called Throne of Thunder, where we take on the challenge of reaching the Thunder King and stopping him once and for all. It will have a total of 13 bosses, with the final boss being heroic mode only. You can compare it in a lot of ways to Ulduar with the lore and the way that it's set up. Normal difficulty of this raid will be available the first week, then heroic the week after. Looking for raid will, as usual, be broken up into subsections and those will be released over time, likely with the first section opening with heroic in the second week and a new section each week afterwards. It looks like Looking for Raid will be broken into 4 different groupings this time, and the required item level to do Looking for Raid will be 480. All your current Valor points will be converted into Justice points. Any Justice points over the cap will be converted into gold. The old Valor gear will not be sold for Justice points, instead the price will be reduced by 25 to 50%. Upgrading your gear will be completely removed in 5.2. The current Elder Charms of Good Fortune will become completely useless for any of the new raid bosses. Instead you will be able to exchange the lesser charms for Mogu Ruins of Fate. These Mogu Ruins can be used just like the Elder Charms for any of the new 5.2 bosses, and the Elder Charms will have a chance to drop from mobs in the new outdoor zone called the Thundering Isle Zone. The drop rate for epics in the old Looking for Raid from normal rolls and bonus rolls will be increased to gear alts faster and make it easier to reach the 480 item level requirement. On top of that, to encourage raid finder groups to stick together after a wipe, each time a raid finder group wipes on a boss, all players in the group receives a stacking buff that increases health, damage dealt and healing done by 5%. This buff will go up to a maximum of 10 stacks and is cleared once the boss has been killed. The old raids will also get a 10% nerf to the enemy's health and damage. You will be able to turn this off by talking to an NPC at the start of the raid. Those that defeated the old raids before 5.2 will receive a Feats of Strength achievement. Right now we have the Looking for Raid gear, normal gear and heroic gear. In 5.2 we'll get another version of this called Thunderforge. This Thunderforge gear will only drop on normal and heroic mode and it has an increased drop rate in 25-man raids. The item level of the Thunderforge gear will be around 6 levels higher than it normally would. So for example you get a helmet of item level 522 from normal mode, this will be 528 if it's Thunderforged. It won't look any different, it's still just purple, but it's to create a bit of more difference between Looking for Raid gear and real raiding gear. Wrathion's questline continues in 5.2 and part of it will require 40 Trillium bars. There won't be a new Shah Touch weapon or item piece, instead he will reward you with a legendary meta gem to place in your helmet. That means that it's possible that you will be replacing your current Shah Touch weapon with one of the new epics from the 5.2 raid. You'll be able to become a champion for one of the Mist of Pandaria factions. By being a champion you will earn more reputation from your first heroic and first scenario each day. On top of that, if you're exalted with the Tillers, you will be able to accept daily work orders for the different factions. Doing a work order requires you to, for example, grow 20 carrots for the Kluxi. The next day you'll be able to give them the carrots and they will give you reputation in return. These 2 bonuses will not work for any of the Wrathion reputation. Warlocks are finally getting their green fire in patch 5.2 and their very own class questline. As I understand it, you'll be able to find a sealed tome of the Last Legion from one of the new rare elites on the Isle of the Thunder King. You can bind the tome to yourself by using a Hellstone, and after that you'll be going on your Warlock adventures against the Council of the Black Harvest. It will also be possible to turn off the green fire effects for those that don't like it, and besides the green fire you will also be rewarded with Arkama's Seal of Courage. All your current conquest points will be converted into honor points. Any honor points above the cap will be converted into gold. The current requirement of reaching 2200 rating in arena will be removed for all PvP gear, and the PvP gear will be available in 4 different tiers. Dreadful Gladiators gear, which will be crafted, Malevolent Gladiators gear, which will be purchased with honor points, Tyrannical Gladiators gear, which will be purchased with conquest points, and Elite Tyrannical Gladiators gear, and this can only be purchased with conquest points after 27,000 conquest points have been earned for the season. Players can also obtain a new title called Khan, and you can obtain this title by completing the achievements called Master of Battle for Gilneas, Master of Twin Peaks, Master of Temple of Katmogu, Master of Isle of Conquest, and finally Master of Silvershard Mines. There are also a couple of minor changes that will happen in 5.2. The construction of Stormwind and Ogrimmar will advance. The transmogrification rules will be more flexible. For example, you can now transmog axes into maces or into swords, and staffs can be transmogrified into pole arms. We'll also see a couple of new heirlooms, including finally tanking shields, and on top of that there will be a bunch of nerfs and buffs and all kinds of good things which you can all read down in the description below. I've posted a couple of patch notes so that you can read up on it in your own time. And I hope this video was informative. Please subscribe if you like my videos, and until next time guys, see ya!